Well, there you go. Message is away. Now all we need to do is wait.
Waiting. The fun part.
You ever stop and think and realize our lives are kind of weird?
No, what do you mean?
We're about to fight an interdimensional conqueror using weapons from Star Trek, Power Rangers, and a whole bunch of other crap, and yet I review comic books and you review tabletop RPGs. This doesn't seem weird to you?
No, not really.
Huh. Well, I suppose you're right. Just making conversation.
Look, there's still some stuff I want to work on while we wait. Can't you review like a Power Rangers comic or something?
I just reviewed a Power Rangers comic a few weeks ago. Oh, that reminds me. Finally fixed it. Might come in handy during the fight.
Thanks. Well, I'm sure you'll think of something. Make sure you're ready. Vice could come at any time.
Right.
Welcome to Top the Fourth Wall, where bad comics burn. Linkara's gonna teach you all a lesson you won't learn. Brodsky, you're not the smartest. Life out, you're not an artist. Anyone who's had a bad comic published, it could be your turn. Linkara, he's a man punch, wears a birdie hat. Linkara, he has a magic gun. Where'd he purchase that? Linkara, coins, robots, Amazon and trucks. Linkara, this comic sucks. Linkara.
Hello and welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where bad comics burn. I loved Doctor Who before it was cool to love Doctor Who. I started watching Doctor Who when I was 3 years old and my parents had tapes of the Seventh Doctor. I loved these episodes. I loved the Daleks and the Cybermen and this magical man with a question mark umbrella who traveled through all of time and space in a magic box that was bigger on the inside than it was on the outside. For those of you who still don't know what the heck I'm talking about, Doctor Who is a British science fiction series that began in 1963. The overall story is about an alien being known only as the Doctor, who travels through time and space with one or more companions, usually humans, and hijinks ensue. The great thing about the series, and I think part of the reason why it's managed to endure for so long, is that it has the greatest storytelling engine ever. A Doctor Who story can literally be anywhere or anytime. Want to do a story about cavemen? Can do! How about a story with Charles Dickens having to encounter actual ghosts? Equally possible. Okay, how about futuristic Arthurian knights traveling from an alternate universe into ours and fighting with swords and laser guns in an attempt to obtain Excalibur? Oh hell yeah! Speaking of, this episode, Battlefield, is probably my favorite episode, tied for that spot with Remembrance of the Daleks. It is, without a doubt, some of the most creative science fiction ever made, and stands alongside shows like Babylon 5 or Star Trek as its own unique entity with a rich mythology. Now, don't get me wrong, the old series had plenty of bad episodes, boring episodes, and, well, laughable special effects, even by the standards of the times they were made in, but when did flashy special effects need to be the thing that makes science fiction good? After the show was cancelled in 1989 due to low ratings, there was first an attempt to bring the show back in 1996 with a TV movie. In my opinion, the movie was flawed but entertaining, but failed for a number of reasons. However, it was then brought back successfully in 2005. I love the new series and all of its seasons, and yes, I like Matt Smith's portrayal so far, though I think the flaws so far in his first season were that they didn't give him a chance to really do a lot of spectacular things. But on the second run-through, I liked the episodes a lot more, and I'm just rambling now. And as such, let me really quickly answer several common questions people have. Favorite Doctor is the 7th, Sylvester McCoy. Favorite episodes, I listed already. My favorite companion is Charlie Pollard from the audio dramas, and yes, I listen to the audio dramas and I love them. And I'm sure there are more questions that people will ask now because I've forgotten them. And of course, since we're here, there was naturally a comic book series. Several, in fact. You may have noticed that this episode I'm reviewing an issue of Doctor Who Classics. These are reprint issues of comics originally produced by Marvel's UK division for Doctor Who magazine. Called Doctor Who Monthly at the time, the magazine has undergone several name changes. This one features stories from issues number 67 through 69 in the second series of IDW Publishing's Doctor Who Classics line. So let's reverse the polarity of the neutron flow, and that was a terrible joke, and instead why don't we just dig into Doctor Who Classics number 7. This cover is great, aside from the cheesy dialogue on it, featuring what appears to be either a giant robot or a giant alien looming over some guy and the 5th Doctor. Yeah, I should probably explain the 5th Doctor thing. Some of you are probably scratching your heads, wondering why, if this show is about the titular Doctor, it could continually be going on for over 45 years. When the first actor playing the Doctor, William Hartnell, decided to leave the show, the writers conceived the idea that the Doctor's species, Time Lords, had the ability to regenerate, that when near death, their entire body's cells could reorganize themselves to heal any wounds they might have, the result of which being an entirely new appearance, as well as the various parts of his personality being reorganized and reshuffled. He's the same guy, but different traits are emphasized over others. Sometimes the Doctor is a suave, sophisticated scientist. Others, he's a manipulative chess master, or optimistically giddy, or psychotic. Oh, but I kid, Colin Baker. I want that coat. Anyway, today's stories will feature the 5th Doctor, as played by Peter Davison. The 5th Doctor was probably the sweetest and kindest of the Doctors, abhorring violence in any regard and also being a huge fan of cricket. Anyway, we open to The Tides of Time, Part 7. Yeah, okay, I might have screwed the pooch by picking this one for us to jump into. Fortunately, like a good multi-part comic, it takes the time to give a brief explanation of what the heck's going on.
In the unimaginably distant system of Althrace, at the heart of a white hole, an extraordinary experiment is taking place. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? The manipulation of time itself. Higher evolutionaries throughout the known universe have linked their mental faculties in a vast network. And yet all they do all day is exchange tweets, with the purpose of suspending time and discovering the whereabouts of the event synthesizer stolen by the demon Melanicus.
I'm not sure if I should call that poor literacy as cool, a dumb name, or if it's a British thing to replace a Z with an S, because otherwise, what exactly is a synthesizer?
Meanwhile, the Doctor was standing by, awaiting the vital coordinates of the synthesizer's exact location.
B6.
Miss.
Along with the Doctor is what appears to be a medieval knight named Justin. We'll be safe inside the TARDIS, Justin. The effects of time bending won't reach us in here. However, on the chronometer of absolute time, we'll see what the effects are on the rest of time. I think something's happening already! Doctor, they're all on 9. This is like what happens when a digital clock is flashing 12. He says the higher evolutionaries have reached a state of equilibrium. Such a meditation on such a grand scale allows them to pierce the nature of reality, see beyond time and space, blah blah blah. I'm sure this would be very fascinating if it wasn't being narrated to us by someone who isn't actually experiencing it. He receives coordinates for the synthesizer, which is Earth in the distant future. Since it's the future, it's also after a big war has devastated the planet. Naturally, while all human life has been wiped out, there still exists a perfectly good teddy bear just lying there in a perfectly breathable atmosphere. The TARDIS arrives and the Doctor and Justin walk out, coming upon a ruined church. They hear organ music from inside of it, but all I can think of is how bizarre it is that in the future there's a huge ringed planet just sitting next to Earth.
But that could just be orbital wobble.
The two enter and behold a guy at some kind of pipe organ that's been converted into a giant H.R. Geiger nightmare. Good grief! There it is! The event synthesis. Wow, that's it, huh? It looks... What exactly is going on in this story again? The guy at the organ starts playing it, and Justin takes the doctor's hat and fills it with holy water from a nearby bowl. He then hurls the water at the guy at the organ, revealing him to be the aforementioned demon Melanicus. Melanicus then transforms into a giant fire-breathing troll dragon thing. Did I mention we're coming into this story at part 7? Then a zombie comes out of the ground and attacks the doctor. Our title character is saved by Justin, who promptly kills the random zombie, while Melanicus apparently decided to take a smoke break or something, since I don't know why he'd leave. Actually, it's because he's now climbing outside the bell tower for reasons unknown. However, he's stopped by the arrival of this guy with a magic 8-ball for a head. From what I've read, this guy is actually part of an ongoing subplot in the Doctor Who comics, but for now, all he does is shoot Melanicus in the eyes, causing it to fall. He manages to grab onto a window right where Justin and the Doctor are looking. There at the window! He seeks to escape by climbing the tower! It cannot be! I have a clean shot right for his crotch, and I'm going to take it! Actually, Justin drives his sword into its chest, and then it, explodes. Okay. Then the event Synergon whatever, the pipe organ turns on and the Doctor is knocked out. I'm sure this would all be very interesting if I knew just what in the hell was going on. When the Doctor comes to, he sees Justin is now a statue in the wall with an epitaph written beneath the statue. The Doctor's confused, and so are we, especially when a guy comes to get him, telling him he's up next at bat for Cricket. While he starts setting up his swing, he contemplates everything that has happened, having more than his fair share of questions.
A hush had fallen over the village green. The Doctor's mind had gone numb.
So is mine. I honestly don't know what the heck just happened, and I fear even in context this wouldn't make much sense. And so the story ends with the Doctor scoring 4 runs while Martle-headed guy stalks in the bushes. As I said, this series collected multiple stories, so now we get a 2-parter to finish off the issue. Stars Fell on Stockbridge. We begin within that village, located in Gloucestershire. We meet this guy, Maxwell Edison. I've got something! I've really got something! Yes, I've got it! I've got it! I've got the rich sounds of the Light FM.
Maxwell Edison, known affectionately to the villagers as Mad Max, was a man of many talents. He could stand in an empty field with radio equipment on him for hours on end. Astrologer, medium, water diviner, soothsayer, full-time vegetarian, and part-time UFO spotter.
How exactly is being a vegetarian a talent? Max spots a meteorite crashing down on the planet and proceeds on his motorcycle towards it. The patrons of a nearby pub spot him driving away. Look, there goes Mad Max! Why do they call him Mad Max anyway? Is it because of the motorcycle plus his craziness? I don't know, it just seems like a long way to go for the nickname. Or maybe they just can't get beyond Thunderdome. Ha! I'm catching up now, Spoonie! Max crashes his bike and proceeds on foot in search of the crash site. Using his divining rod, yeah, the guy's clearly nuts, but a little stupid too. You use those things to find water, not aliens. He starts wandering around to continue his search. He literally bumps into the TARDIS and accidentally falls inside. I'm not kidding here, he just trips backwards and falls into it. Hordes of alien menaces were unable to get inside the thing, but this guy loses his footing and just kind of stumbles inside. Max, being kind of crazy, latches onto the idea that the TARDIS is from Venus. Because the console's short? I don't know. The Doctor asks him not to touch anything, and Max introduces himself as the Earth Ambassador, and that he found the Doctor using his biokinetic energizing ray. When the Doctor takes a closer look at it, however, it's just an empty box, with a few loose wires. Much like Max, actually. Using some made-up coordinates Max gives him, the Doctor learns that something is on its way to Earth as they speak. Why the heck he's tolerating a complete wacko is anyone's guess, since Max keeps talking about whether or not the Doctor will do tests on him or not. He flies the TARDIS up to the ship, rematerializing inside of it. The two go out and start walking around for no discernible reason other than the plot needs to get going, hearing a loud noise from nearby. Max says he can sense a presence. It speaks to me of emptiness. A vast, aching emptiness, and lonely, so very lonely. Yeah, I felt that same way when I watched Love and Monsters. The feelings of loneliness expands into outright anguish and despair, and it becomes too much for Max, knocking him unconscious.
Next, it.
Part 2 is actually included in the story, so now it's time for the exciting conclusion to this. The doctor revives Max with some smelling salts, but Max admits he can already feel it coming at him again, and he runs away, since that's a nicely stupid thing this character can do. The doctor wanders around looking for Max for a while, until he's confronted by evil alien Snuffleupagus! No, actually, it's an empty spacesuit that just falls out of a closet. So far, our hero's greatest contributions have been to play cricket and stumble around in the dark. The doctor hears Max calling out to him and follows the voice until it leads him back to the TARDIS. The doctor decides to try a smarter approach and does an infrared scan of the ship's interior, locating Max. He dematerializes the TARDIS over to him, where Max is alone in a fetal position against a wall.
He had reached the point where a more rational man would have cracked, but still he held on.
Hey, neat! His insanity is actually coming in handy. The doctor tells Max that he heard him calling, but Max yells at him that it wasn't him. It was the thing in the dark. I didn't call out. It wasn't my voice. It wasn't my voice! And the doctor slaps him.
I'll take care of this. Calm down. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Doctor, you're one on the phone. Everything's gonna be all right, please.
Yeah, I can't think of many instances where the doctor slaps a guy.
How dare you touch me?
The doctor tells Max that they're alone on the ship and that he didn't detect any other life forms. Yeah, but you've encountered psychic beings or energy beings before that wouldn't show up in infrared, you know. Max says he knows that there is one and that his divining rod led him to a large wall. As such, the doctor decides to see for himself, burning a hole in the wall. Much to his surprise, after he's done, the chunk of wall he cut out flies out and a huge gust of wind follows. After the wind dissipates, the two enter the control room of the ship, where the controls of the ship itself have decayed and withered away over time. Seems really, really unlikely since it's metal and all, but hey, what do I know about alien spaceships? The doctor speculates that an enormous amount of time must have passed between its initial launch and the current date. Furthermore, that something may have lived on the ship over all that time and evolved over thousands of years. Pretty sure evolution doesn't work like that. The two leave since the doctor realizes the ship is getting warmer, no doubt due to its beginning to enter Earth's atmosphere. The two leave and rematerialize on Earth. The doctor says his farewell to Max and tells him the ship is going to be breaking up in the atmosphere within an hour, and it'll make a spectacular sight. And so our comic ends with Max telling the villagers who had mocked him earlier that they should take a look out the window at the appropriate time. When they do and see a meteor shower, they start treating him with a little more respect.
The night that stars fell on Stockbridge.
Speaking of, we never did get an answer on what the heck the first meteor was. This comic, it doesn't suck, but I have a hard time calling it good. For a Doctor Who comic, the Doctor is almost completely superfluous in both stories. Justin is the one who kills the demon. The Doctor just plays cricket. In the second story, we get no answers to what just happened, no resolution on what was going on with Max or what happened on the ship. All we get is vague speculation, and while sometimes ambiguity can be an asset, in this case it just makes me wonder what the heck the point of the story was. The Doctor in these stories isn't clever, doesn't say anything all that witty or interesting, he's just kind of along for the ride. On the other hand, though, the stories are inoffensive and harmless. Few people could give me any examples of a bad Doctor Who comic, and even then it tended to be a story or two that I actually thought was pretty good. Speaking of, remember Ben Templesmith, the first artist on Silent Hill, dying inside, and how I bashed his artwork here? Well, in the interest of fair play, check out the one-shot Doctor Who The Whispering Gallery, where not only is the story fantastic, but his slightly surreal artwork really complements the atmosphere. So there you have it, a Doctor Who comic. And while it didn't outright suck, maybe it was at least a little entertaining.
Linkara, I'm detecting the energy trace.
Fantastic! Alonzi, everybody! Ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
I shall rid this universe of...
Now, punch it! fights for this universe with as much bravery and courage as any champion. You're in my house, Vice, and you will show her respect!
Very well. She will die alongside you then.
Don't you think it's time?
No, we have to hold off until the last possible second, or else we've got nothing to fall back on.
Boat!
It was not wise to provoke me.
You know what, Vice? I think you just need some good vibrations. Is this a private party or can anyone join?
Who are you?
The name's Lieutenant Monroe. And this one's for Beastmen.
Ah, yes, the champion who fought off the Vorsoth. I will deal with you later.
Hey, kid, wake up. Come on, kid, this ain't no time to be loafing. We got stuff we gotta do.
Your valor is impressive. After I have cut off your heads, I shall hang them on the bridge of my vessel so that I can always remember this fight. What? Shade 1, report. Why have you not returned me? Shade 1, report.
I think that's our cue.
Oh, yes!
What? My energy. What have you done?
Calling Angry Joe, are you receiving me?
Move it! To the right! To the right! Move it! Come on! Come on! Go! Go! Take over there! To the left! Come on, you imps! You want to live forever? Joe here.
What's your status?
My forces have taken the bridge, engineering, and most of the upper levels. Resistance has been strong, but without Vice to direct them, these shades aren't what they used to be.
But how? How could these forces get past the defense shield?
Is that Lord Vice? Tell him he's an asshole for me!
Who is that?
The name's Angry Joe, Lord of Lame. Remember it.
This is impossible. Nothing can get past my vessel's shields. How did this force get through?
Well, it seems things are falling apart around you, Lord Vice.
Linkara, what are you doing?
What I was sent here to do. I'm sick and tired of running from universe to universe in fear of you. I want to be the conqueror, damn it! Linkara is insane. A month after you kidnapped me, he contacted me and came up with the idea of being a spy, getting on your ship through an offer of working for you. He has lowered the temporal shields around your ship and disabled its power systems. You should have kept him on a shorter leash.
This is intolerable. How could this have happened?
You did it yourself, Vice.
Coming here yourself was your mistake. I had Poyo examine the debris of the shades we destroyed. None of them had any internal power. It was always being fed from your ship. It had a very distinct energy trace, one that we detected when you came to fight me the last time.
Oh sure, maybe in other universes you're a complete badass, but here, not so much.
Not all universes are the same. In some universes, you need to act through agents like the Vorsoth, because those universes are so different from yours that you can't enter them. And in our universe, you need a constant supply of power in order to stay strong.
But I'm willing to bet it's even worse than that.
Indeed it is. When I damaged your suit, you had to retreat, because you can't survive in this universe without it.
And you're terrified of dying, since you think you're the only one who can stop this entity that you're after.
And when I poked your ego, you left your ship wide open to attack. Your empire is crumbling around you, and hey, I didn't even have to use my third sonic screwdriver.
Do you think that was my only source of power? I am Lord Vice. Everything I see, I conquer, and I will not be defeated by the likes of you!
It's morphin' time!
By the might of Corellan Lorethian!
Time for a fan service moment. Hey Vice, I'm just distracting you so she can stab you. Alright everybody, now's our chance! Everybody, take aim!
This cannot be the end. No.
Jeez, is that Mook still alive?
Yes, but he is unconscious.
Dude, we should just shoot him again! Would that even do anything after all of that? Kid, what do you think we should do with him? Your databanks in other universes were very thorough. This world is one you can survive in without your suit, but if the winter lasts too long, the suit itself has enough power for 400 years. There's no technology, no civilization, no sentient life forms within 50,000 light years. We don't have the power to kill you, and all those universes you enslaved are in no shape to take you. Hell, Poyo is still having issues disabling the quadrillions of shades and other creatures you commanded across so many dimensions. We have to settle for exile.
You have doomed the multiverse to the entity. Know this. Someday you will come crawling for my help again.
Oh yes, this entity you claim you're after. You know, it's funny, I don't know many good guys that enslave countless people in his obsessive quest, nor many that refer to themselves as Lord.
You shall regret these actions.
Maybe, but not today, thank you. Bye-bye! Angry Joe? Just wanted to say thanks for all your help in this.
For sure, Linkara. Angry Joe out.
Joe, enemy fleet approaching. It seems to be Admiral Akbar.
Akbar! Akbar! On screen!
Well, we did a basic scan of the ship, but there's still a lot of work to do.
That's fine. This is a really nice ship, you know that?
Do you really think we should keep this ship? I mean, it's pretty damn powerful.
You know, maybe you're right. I mean, Is there any one person who could be trusted with this much destructive power? The capabilities of this thing are incalculable. And can I really be trusted to keep it? You know, maybe we should destroy it.
Do you really mean that?
Hell no! It's mine now! I gotta figure out what I'm gonna name the thing!
Ooh, I'm gonna go see if there's a mini bar.